Okay. Next we have what's probably my favorite hand of the whole match, where we have a tough four heart contract. And First we have at Gavin's table, Gavin and Steve's table, with the challengers being declared. Um, so Gavin, you had I think the first interesting decision, the spade overcall. What are your requirements for overcalling a four card suit?
I mean, I don't love overcalling four card suits. My partner was a passed hand, and I was not vulnerable. Those are two pretty important pieces of the puzzle. I would say that I might do it when my partner's not a passed hand. If ever I have ace king queen fourth of a suit, I like to overcall it at the one level a lot. There's upside to that because your opponent sometimes can't figure out that they're making three no trump when you're holding the ace king queen of the suit. And otherwise, with a hand like this, I don't. There's not a lot of downside to my one spade bait. If partner pushes me to four spades, I'm okay because they're almost surely making a game. If my partner jumps to four spades, and if my partner bids three spades, everything there's nothing. I don't see the reason I bid with this hand is it's just there's almost no downside. I'm so unlikely to get hurt by doing it, and I really want a spade lead if the opponents end up in no trumps. And yeah. I definitely three of the top five honors is I wouldn't do it with a worse suit than this. You know, I would say this is about my worst suit that I could overcall a four card suit.
And you had maximum protection. I'm a passed hand, and you're favorable, so
right.
It has a lot of signs for it.
Okay, and then Donna for the challengers chose to make a negative double over one spade. And the auction quickly reached four hearts, and then that put Gavin on lead for the normal King of Spades lead. Steve, in defense of four hearts, you made a play of the four of spades. Can you talk to us about that card?
Sure. I mean, we play upside down attitude, but my problem was if Gavin had a five-card spade suit, which he's allowed to when he overcalls one spade, even Gavin. I was pretty convinced he would take the three of spades as suit preference for clubs because he would know I would know declarer was showing out. And if he had a four-card spade suit, I thought the four would get him to continue spades anyway when he was in because he wouldn't know whether I had three or four anyway. So what I was trying to do was make an encouraging spade play without it looking like a suit preference play, and I thought the four was the safest way to do that.
Okay.
For those of you watching, thinking like the cards are playing at random, like there was that much thought that went into a silly choice of a four on a very little hand. It's funny that when you asked the question, that there was an exact reason why the four of spades was chosen, and a smart reason too.
Yeah, well, I assume that the cards aren't random, and I ask on behalf of all of us who want to learn from those that represent us internationally. So. Then Declare chose to duck a heart, Gavin winning, and Gavin then attacked Declare's hearts by continuing spades. And so Gavin, how can you tell that this is going to be the winning defense at this point?
Well, it was like Steve said, he played the four of spades. I just thought Declare had the three of spades, and I was going to take a spade trick and then make my decision. I knew Declare probably had five diamonds and four hearts, and I mean, it looked like Declare was either an 18-point balance hand or this shape. So there's no real downside to be playing a second round of spades. I don't see what bad can happen. I kind of didn't really think about my play except to know that a spade can't cost me the contract. So I just made the play and worry about it later.
Okay, neat. So Declare roughs this, cashes a heart.
Actually, if you could stop right here, it's kind of. Can you go back, John, one sec?
Yeah.
It's interesting because a very normal false card when Declare cashes the ace of hearts here is the queen, and it's kind of an instinctive play just because people do it with the queen and the jack. But the reason you wouldn't want to play the queen here when partner wins the king is that actually tells Declare where the jack is, and you don't want to do that on a lot of hands. So the jack is the one that leaves the queen in doubt, and the queen makes it clear because Gavin wouldn't have won the king of hearts with king jack third. So the deceptive play is the jack, not the queen.
And your partner knows you have the queen.
My partner knows it's very likely I have the queen for sure.
Okay, good. I'm going to want to go back to the declare play on this hand a lot because I think that the play is very interesting.
Yeah, it's a fascinating hand. I agree with you.
I think I want to see the line taken at the next table, and maybe we'll bounce back to this and see whether or not we were in a different position. So after cashing 2 hearts, declare now goes about finessing the diamond, losing to the king, and now Gavin, you know declare doesn't have any more, but you go ahead and finish off his last trump.
Yeah, at that point in the hand, I was thinking that I remember thinking that perhaps if I played back the 10 of diamonds, that it might earn us an extra trick sometimes. But I realized eventually that I have to take Declare's trump away from his hand because otherwise, if I play back a club or a diamond, they'll be able to throw away Dummy's diamond and trump a diamond in Dummy, get back to their hand by roughing a spade, and have a good diamond to throw Dummy's last spade. So I was thinking about whether it might be better. There are times where it might cost down 2 if I don't play back a diamond, but not. It was definitely important for me to play a spade back.
Okay, good. And in fact, that's basically what happens is Declarer now has to lose a diamond trick. Okay, and so the Queen of Hearts finishes down 1, and then Declarer
was unlucky that spades were 4-4 because from the bidding, there's no way that he could tell that.
Right. And now, at this point, he had to lose a spade trick as well, right?
Right, because his trumps were drawn.
Because his trumps were drawn. So the final result was down 2? Must be down 2 then. Let's see, 1 diamond, 2 diamonds.
Yes, it was
2 diamonds, 2 hearts, and a spade. Okay, very good. I'm going to leave this one up so that we can come back to it. Let me rewind it so that we can look at it a little bit. And let's go ahead to the other table.
So here I had the first decision, I guess, whether to make a negative double. To me, to make a 2-level negative double, or it's doubling at the 1 level but forcing partner to bid at the 2 level, this hand isn't quite strong enough. Queen and 1 is generally not a great holding. I think of that more as like 1 point. And, I have ace 4th, which ace is good, but it's my only card is in their suit, and hearts the suit I'm showing by making negative doubles. I have 9/4, so I'm not so eager to.
So how much better do you need to be to double on this hand?
It's pretty close. Even if I give me like Jack 9/4 hearts, I'd probably double.
Okay.
Would you double if you were white, Jason?
No.
So it wasn't a vulnerability issue. It was.
No, I don't think the vulnerability matters here.
I would double if I was white and my opponents were white.
Yeah, I
think the vulnerability is
a vulnerability issue too. I'd be a little bit more comfortable double and white because I think my partner knows I might be a little bit lighter than red.
And the reason I wouldn't double when my opponents are vulnerable is I'd just be happy defending. I don't see. This is a pretty good hand for defense. I don't think I have a game. I don't think the opponents are going to overcompete when they're vulnerable. So.
Okay. So after you chose pass and the auction continued 2 spades, Greg, you now doubled to show your hand. I thought it was cool how you guys now untangled your heart fit at this point and reached game. Can you take us, Jason, through your thinking, and then Greg, after that, how you worked out that you had the heart fit?
Sure,
I worked it out by seeing dummy.
I was in a kind of a tough spot because I know I've got about the best hand possible that didn't double in the first place. I've got probably nothing wasted in spades, or if it's I mean, if your partner has a void, I guess the ace could be wasted, but it's a useful pitch. Or I felt like I was too good just a bit at the 3 level here. I didn't. Partner's not coming in here without a good hand, vulnerable, to force me a bit at the 3 level when he knows I don't have any values. So, team right to take a shot at a game, and 3 spades gave me the chance to get to the best game possible. If partner's got, for some reason, they overcalled in 4-card suit and raised on 3, maybe partner will want to bid 3-no with king and a spade or something like that. And then, or he can pick a suit. I wasn't gonna like it if he bid 4 clubs. I could correct to 4 diamonds. It seemed like my only way to really get to hearts, and I certainly wasn't just gonna bid 4 hearts.
Plus, if I remember from like the last match, you like these kind of bids to torture Greg and just see how he scrambles out of it. And
that benefit too.
That's some foreshadowing right there too. We got a real 2-no trump gem coming up in a little.
Yeah. So speaking of 2-no trump, do you guys have any sort of Lebensol options on this kind of competitive auction?
I think it's right to play it, but we hadn't discussed it.
We're a second-time partnership.
Okay. Next, Greg, why don't you go ahead and take us through the defense and play?
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, I should say when I saw 3 spades, I didn't really. I thought Jason's most likely hand might be one of these awkward hands that has values to bid, but not 4 hearts. No spade stopper, no 4 hearts, and just like a 9 count. Some of these hands that are sort of end played into passing because they don't want to make an off-shape negative double. And it really looked like he was fishing for 3-0. And so now I was completely unsure what to do over 3 spades. I didn't want to bid 4 diamonds. So I sort of closed my eyes and hoped he had a different kind of hand. I was pretty concerned we were going to end in a 4-3 fit.
Okay.
Anyway, right, so Dummy was a tremendous pleasure, actually, to see that we actually had 8 trumps. When I saw this hand, I remember I knew this was going to be a difficult hand, but the general principle that kept ringing in my brain was that when you have a weak trump suit like this, where you're in serious danger of losing control of the hand, that it's almost always best to start on your side suit first. Right? I was really worried that if I played a trump right now, and a spade comes back and I get tapped, that as soon as I start working on diamonds, I guess I'm worried that what happened at the other table is going to happen. Is they're going to be able to score a spade trick at some point because they'll be able to draw my trumps or tap me out, and I haven't set the diamonds up. So I thought by getting diamonds going at trick 2, I would stay a tempo ahead of that.
Okay. Look at trick 2.
So
you go ahead.
I took this losing diamond finesse, and I remember thinking at the time that it might actually be right to lead a diamond to the ace. Obviously, because somebody could have king and 1, but also because, like when North plays the 10, it might be right to duck the second one to him or something. But I rejected that eventually because I think it's too scary that when you lose the second one, you're going to suffer a diamond rough. Like if somebody is king 3rd, I really, really didn't want that to happen. So I think I just took the normal play in diamonds.
Okay. Then declare
Right.
Defense continued spades.
Right. And so my plan at this point was to try. I knew I could shake a diamond on the 3rd round of clubs, and then I wouldn't have to end up losing a diamond. Of course, I'm going to still rough a diamond and certainly get over rough. I think actually this was where, if I knew the layout of the hand, I could have made it. I mean, obviously I could have made the hand by playing North for king and 1 diamond, but who's ever going to do that? But I think at this point I crossed over to the queen of clubs, intending to just shake a diamond from dummy. And I think this was where I lost my last chance to legitimately make the hand. I did actually end up making it, but through some very subtle stuff. So I pitched a diamond here.
Okay.
I think, yeah, pitched a diamond.
Yep.
And then what ace did I play? Ace and ruff a diamond. And so at this point in the hand, I think so let's back up one. When I was looking at what to do here, there's no way for me to legitimately make the hand now, because if I lead a diamond and North makes the sort of counterintuitive looking play of ruffing high, then he can tap me again by playing another spade. And I think now I'm in big trouble.
Right, you have to play out of your hand, and then South is still going to score their 2 trump tricks.
Exactly. What I was hoping for at this point was that I was going to lead a diamond, and that the person with the short diamonds would have the long trumps. And so when they roughed in, they would be roughing. If they roughed in, they would be roughing with a natural trump trick. Turns out the right defense, which is pretty tough to find, is to rough in with a natural trump trick.
Okay. And when it didn't rough in
anymore.
It's an amazing hand, because as Greg said, like, he's certainly going to lose to the king of diamonds, and I think that natural play of losing to the king of diamonds, you have to take North's king of hearts out to make it legitimately after you do that. And I don't know if that's double dummy or not, but right. I think that if he plays a club to the queen and a heart to the 10, I don't think there's any counter for the defense.
Yeah, that's right. If I lead a heart, instead of shaking the diamond right away.
So I'm going to go back to the position. So in this position, after you've won the queen of clubs, if you now play a heart.
Yeah, I think if I duck a heart now, if I have a heart to the 10, then I can win any return and pull one more round of trumps. And now I can just throw my diamond loser away and play ace of diamonds, ruff a diamond, and North can't even rough in.
I don't know if you're pulling another round of trumps. I think that you're just throwing your diamond loser, and North can't rough in because his king of hearts is taken away.
What if South splits?
Oh, right, yeah. North, yeah. Well, if South splits, I think you have to win the ace and now duck a trump to North's king. Right, you just have to make it so that North can't rough high in front of the dummy when you lead that diamond. And then you get to rough your diamond loser. You can't get tapped.
Just to backtrack to the defensive play, my mic wasn't working. About what I don't actually think it's so double dummy to rough with the king of hearts. I feel like it's definitely counterintuitive, but you can sort of see what is coming if you don't. Like, it looks like Declare is going to be able to take 10 tricks if you don't rough with the king. Like, as long as Declare has ace jack or ace 10 of hearts, which you're certainly playing the hand like that, like you have ace jack or ace 10 of hearts.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to work to rough king as long as it's not ace jack 10 or ace queen. But you made the hand without the queen of hearts as it was. So I feel like it is solvable to rough with the king of hearts, though extremely counterintuitive.
Okay.
I would agree with that, because you can see even if it's ace jack or ace 10 or worse, it works out to rough.
I think the big thing is that you see that dummy's got the 9-5 of hearts, like that you know that and you have the deuce, so you know your partner's third heart spot is bigger than dummy's second heart spot. So that's what makes it seem like this is entirely possible.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. It's solvable, but I think if you gave this hand to 100 players.
Well, if you gave a hand to people, they would get it right. That's sort of my point. Is at the table you see yourself not wanting to rough with the king of hearts because it looks like you have a natural trump trick. It just seems weird to rough with the king of hearts. It doesn't it's hard to see how it gains when you're just following suit. It's very natural not to rough with the king of hearts. But as a problem, I think it's very solvable. That's what I was trying to say.
Mm-hmm. All right, if you wait a few years and slip this hand into a regional pair game somewhere.
Oh, you would get a top for beating 4 hearts, I would imagine.
All right. This is fun. All right, so we're just going to continue the play out. So,
Yeah, it's still not quite home. He still had to guess it here at the end.
So now what's the guess at the end? So you've just been tapped again, and you played the ace of hearts.
I think that my diamonds are good, right? So I'm just tapping.
And your diamonds are good.
Point, yeah, at that point you'd see some. But...
Okay.
It's a pretty
Very
nice
well played.
620 for Greg and Jason. I'd say that's you got to feel good when you get a 620. When you're scooting through the bidding, you got a messy hand to play. It's all
Yeah, we somehow landed on our feet in the bidding.
offside, things are like all bad, and all of a sudden you're plus 620, and that's like you love bringing that back to your teammates.
For sure. I do think that starting with a diamond to queen was definitely the right play. But not because of this convoluted layout. I just think that it's the right thing to do to play diamond to queen.
So the general principle, I think Greg stated at the beginning, was, you know, when you've got sort of these weak trumps and side suits to set up, it's best to set up the side suit. It was sort of interesting.
Yeah, I think you basically made it when the queen of diamonds holds the trick. That's the big reason I like the diamond finesse.
Okay. So at this point, I'd like to invite the Bridge Winners community out there to go ahead and post your comments in this thread about this hand. I'm sure there's a lot more thinking out there and a lot more ideas that I'd love to read.